This is the 8-9 combo. This is the test match post-mortem. And this was a moment. Insert clip here. Hello, YouTubers. And that was indeed the moment, the match-winning try for Grant Williams that put the Springboks ahead for the first time since the 30th minute, ultimately beating the All Blacks 31-27 at Ellis Park in Johannesburg. I'm Brett McKay. This is Harry Jones. And, mate, as our podcast listeners just heard there, that was a huge moment, that Grant Williams try, set up by that magnificent kick to the corner from Sasha Feinberg in Ngomazulu. You must be buzzing right now.
Hey, how's it? I'm in between a police van and a mob and a light, so hopefully you can see and hear me. But
and all your mates as well.
When Sasha kicked that kick, the entire group around me, we all had a heart attack, and we thought he had just lost the match. But it turned out he slid it in there like a snooker player.
Yeah, on TV, off the boot, I thought he's overclubbed this, but then I watched where the AR was going. Oh, no, he's absolutely smashed it. He's nailed it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's a match-winning kick.
Yeah, it was.
Real match-winning
we died several times and came back to life.
No doubt about that at all. We're back with our international season offering as we debuted in July, an initial prognosis of what we've just seen in Johannesburg tonight, and with the first Argentina-Australia match still to come. And we are really pleased to be brought to you across the Rugby Championship by Chasing the Sun 2, the wonderful 5-part all-access series documenting the Springboks' journey to their memorable 2023 Rugby World Cup win, and which is coming soon to RugbyPass TV worldwide. On Argentina-Australia, keep an eye on the socials and on the 8-9 Combo YouTube channel, where we'll be throwing out a video-only mini post-mortem on Los Pumas via the Wallabies. And that'll be out mid to late morning, Sunday Australian time after the completion of the match, and with upload speeds pending as well. 31-27, mate, at Ellis Park. New Zealand led 12-11, and that score's got plenty about it as well. How are you feeling right now? I've got you back. How are you going there, mate?
Yes.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling really good. There's people offering the police beer, which could make things better or worse for me right now. I'm not sure what, but I'll say this: I saw Jamie Wall tweeting in the middle of the game, "How good are these giant pitchers of beer?" And all I say is, I have never seen as much consumption in one place as tonight. I'm not going to be able to tell you much about the tactics and the scoring. All I know is there were two very large cheers in the ground for exits, because it took 65 minutes before we had a proper exit, and it almost felt like if we could just get one exit, we'd win this game. And that was one thing that just we kept dying for it. Can you just catch the ball, reach it once, and then kick it long, far, somewhere far away?
Yeah. Let's get straight into then to the 5-word headline, where again the winning headline becomes the pod title. What have you got me for me there from Ellis Park?
My kingdom for an exit.
I don't mind that. It sort of describes the game, doesn't it? That's not bad at all. I'm hoping I've still got you there. My headline, and I'm hoping you can hear this, is simply Boks evade raises edge. I've managed to get you back, mate. My headline for you, and I think you might like this as well, is Boks evade raises edge.
Ooh, clever.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot more clever than me tonight, brother.
Yeah. It had that game about it. It's a funny sort of a feeling, this game. I really didn't feel like until New Zealand got 10 points ahead that the Boks would lose this game. And then I thought, I actually don't think the Boks can win this now. And then somehow they did, yet it still kind of feels like the right result.
Yeah, I think so. I think, part of it was that there were some squandered chances by both sides in the first 20. And it seemed like, it was one of those cagey matches. When I was sober, before this all started, this match, I pronounced that whoever got to 31st, whoever got to the number 30, the first was going to win the match. I just felt like both teams had it in them to score about 30. I wasn't sure between 30 and 35 how much oomph. And I saw Blackadder with his hands on his knees. I saw plenty of the All Blacks kind of spent Barrett, the big Barrett. Same thing over Peter Steptoe was, gassed. So I just didn't know if there was 35 plus. But I thought that if the Boks could get to 30, even though they were down by, like you say, it was 24-14 at some point, or 27-17.
27-17 at the 52nd minute. Yeah, that was Caleb Clark's second try.
That was it. And I felt like there's plenty of time, but it just has to be that the Boks don't allow the All Blacks to score. And so once that happened, it took some work because the All Blacks didn't you think the All Blacks played one of the best matches you've seen of them in a while? They just, they looked dangerous. They looked smooth. They were up for the scrum was really solid.
Yeah, they played a really sound and smart game management game. Like they just said, we are not going to win at Ellis Park in our own half. So they kicked everything on their side halfway. They just kicked everything. And they did that very well.
And they kicked early. Ellis Park is a very smart stadium. So everyone in the stadium was saying, please, Fassi, kick. And I think when Fassi started to kick, he looked more comfortable. Yeah. When Sasha started to kick the ball around and move it, he looked comfortable. I think for young players like Sasha and Afalele, it's hard to. Came on also it helped because he was able to root on the All Black side. I would say they were to go away thinking that was a squandered opportunity lost. Don't you think? It just looked like it was theirs to keep if they could have managed the game.
Yeah, that's fair, and they did. Like they played really, really well after half time, and to get out by 10 points, they were on their way to winning in Johannesburg, and then they didn't score another point. They didn't score another point in that last 28 minutes, and that was telling in the end.
And it wasn't necessarily this time about bomb squadism, because the bomb squad had to be used earlier. Eben was on really early.
And it was broken up.
Came on pretty early.
Yeah.
So it's much more about putting a game to bed. There were some loose kicks. By Beauden Barrett, not just in the end, but also throughout the match.
Yeah, there was. So what worked for our usual questions? What worked for the Boks tonight?
Belief, a dogged determination. I think waves of depth and finding which one would work. So if Jasper Visa was kind of done, then Elrich Lowe came on and he looked like a man on fire. If someone else wasn't really firing, there was no feeling of, no, I have to stay on. Everyone was just pulling.
Yeah.
So I think it was a proper team effort.
Yeah. Jasper Visa was outstanding. Ruan Norki made an enormous difference to the line-out when he came back on. And that might have been the difference in the end. That might have been the difference in the Boks being able to win that game.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think set piece all night long, set piece was 50-50.
Yeah. I think you're right. Hi. What didn't work so well for New Zealand?
I think it's this classic case of when you get ahead and then you try to not lose. So I think there were opportunities begging, and then there was a sort of shape where I was not even sure if it was Jordy Barrett or if it was Beauden Barrett. They were doing these little diagonal kicks, and Sasha and Fussy both covered those with ease. There was one play where Sasha made a play in the tram on the right, got to the middle, kicked, and then made it all the way to the left, and that's where the kick went. He collected it and put it back on the toe, and it felt like if All Blacks had maybe run through the phases 3 or 4 more times. The referee was keen to penalize, but All Blacks didn't give him an opportunity to give them a penalty because they were just kicking the ball away. And it's almost like they got to a point where they said, I don't think we can lose from here at that 27-17.
Yeah, it might be true. It might be true. Who learned what from Ellis Park, do you think, in the shorter term, like between now and Cape Town next week? What are the big lessons?
Well, I think the shape on the forward attack for Tony Brown is working, where you have Peter Steph and Sia, whoever comes in for Sia, like Kwacha out wide, and then you have a hard running 8, Low or Visa. That works. Yeah. I think in the midfield there's still a little bit of overcomplication, and there was the Jordy Barrett interception that will just do their head in, and they'll reconstruct that. Yeah. Yeah, because they ran that same play 4 or 5 times. They went wide to Diolende in midfield, and he was very obviously setting up Sia in the wider channel, and so Jordy Barrett just picked that off quite readily. So yeah, that will be a lesson for next week. Captain. Yes. No, you cannot give a smart player like Jordy. You cannot give Jordy, a smart player like Jordy, that much of a try. You cannot give Jordy that many shots at reading a midfield play that had all the hallmarks of a training ground move where they said, we are going to get. Obviously, what you would think that Razor would have as well.
Yeah. It was. Yeah, they played it smart, New Zealand. You've got to give them that. They'll be disappointed that they lost that, but they certainly played a smart game. And now, the question now, I think, going into Cape Town next week becomes who can actually recover from this better. The thing for me, I think now, mate, is from here to Cape Town next week. I think the biggest test for either side is going to be who can recover better. Who did this game in Joburg take more out of, is what I mean.
Yeah, so that gets into complicated things about fitness, right? Not just fitness of body, because the All Blacks were doing some sprints for about 25 minutes post-whistle. Anton Linder-Brown did not look very happy, by the way, about it. But other guys were going full bore, doing their Broncos. I just think mentally it's tough to come that close, know that you should have won, and then you have the champs in their backyard again with a lot of changes. The Boks can make a lot of changes, like easily. And so I don't know if the tourists have that many adjustments they can make on personnel. It's going to have to be same guys, do it better, which is sometimes hard. Yeah.
Well, and I think for New Zealand, I don't know that anyone came off the bench and was so good that they have to start next week.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. Talea was kind of a weird start because it wasn't really what they needed. Another playmaker. I thought the scrum didn't really improve. Sam Gary was okay. It's all okay. It was all okay. Yeah. So in the battle of the benches, definitely it went the Boks way, but in a different way than the bomb squad normally does, because it kind of just gradually took hold, whereas it was not a sudden shock of scrum penalties or something.
No, that's true. It was a funny sort of a game. Let's hear from Rassie Erasmus now, who spoke to the Supersport commentators just on the ground after the match. Insert clip here. So pretty satisfied in the end. He was, Rassie, mate, and I can imagine that he'll be probably relieved, I think, was probably the overriding feeling coming out of those words that he spoke there? That would be the key thing going forward now.
I think so, and I think sometimes you can get a lot out of those narrow escapes. At one point, wins in the World Cup put a lot of belief in the older guard. Now you have a younger guard, and you have a fellow like Fasé that did some really bad things, some kind of dumb things, and then he came around and he grew into the game. I think that's what you want to see from a young fullback. I thought Sasha had great touches, and then you had just enough from
really good.
The old guys. Yeah. Peter Steptoe, when you're watching live at a match and you watch him go around his business, it's amazing. But Sasha Feinberg from Ngomazulu gets around the park, man. He makes tackles. He is certainly became a darling of the Ellis Park crowd, who are not disposed to love a stormer.
No, true. So here's the thing about Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu already. I'm not sure when Handré Pollard next starts a test. I just don't know how that feels like a big call, but it almost feels like he's just been deposed is what it feels like.
It's very interesting to get into the mind of these guys, right? There's something to be said by having a guy like Pollard on the bench as a safety blanket. Because usually for a young guy, there will be some stinker game. There'll be some game where you just cannot do anything right.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting. I don't know. You know, on the other hand, this coaching setup is so unpredictable. They might very well start Pollard in Cape Town
next week.
Of Sasha, who is the hometown darling.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. It's a really good point. Have you got a final thought before we let it go? We've had a few technical gremlins this time around. Have you got a final thought?
Well, I mean, the vibe is so great, right? You come up to Ellis Park, you literally go through just some places that make you wonder, and then you get in and it's a rock concert, it's a hip hop concert, it's a pop concert. And everyone's got the vibe. That's right. And you're deaf by the time you get in there. Like I said, you can buy giant pitchers, 2 of them, and then you just pour whatever you want in because no one checked anything going in. So you just assume everyone's got whatever they want. I don't know. Besides the French, I don't know if I've been in a louder stadium than tonight. Yeah. And I was thinking about that. Why? Why is it so pent up about this? And I think maybe it's that it's a heyday. It's a golden age. Someone's talking about how it might be oozing too much happiness and confidence about the Boks. I don't know. Guys, I think when you watch sports for this long and you suffer through, like the Wallabies right now, let's say the Wallabies came around and there was 2027, 26 glory. You don't think that there's going to be some people doing a strut around? I mean, it's going to be hard marty, right? So
I'll be absolutely stunned if there's not.
Cheer, good feeling. The All Black fans that were there, and there were plenty. They were getting along with their neighbors. People were offering them beer, biltong, hugs, the whole 9 yards. It was wonderful.
Yeah, great. Well, we might wrap it up, mate. We have had a few little ups and downs through this recording, and we'll call that a wrap on another Rugby Championship edition of the Test Match Post-Mortem. And with that, another service the Test Rugby fulfilled. Fantastic wrap-up, mate. I certainly need some sleep. You're going out for more beers. I've got no question about that. Will you be okay this week in between tests? I think you've said that you'll be okay. Tell us what you think at the 8-9 Combo on all the socials, or leave your thoughts in the comments section right here on the 8-9 Combo YouTube channel, or tell Harry and I on the socials in our usual places at Harry Baldy Jones and at BMC Sport. We've lost Harry from Ellis Park. As mentioned at the top, just keep an eye on those social channels and the 8-9 Combo YouTube channel as well for an exclusive mini post-mortem after Argentina and Australia from La Plata. Of course, if you like, follow, subscribe on your pod platform of choice and on YouTube right now, then you will definitely get every new episode as soon as it drops. And do head to RugbyPass.tv as well, where you can see the 2019 series of Chasing the Sun, the documentary series celebrating South Africa's back-to-back Rugby World Cup wins, and with the 2023 series Chasing the Sun 2 coming soon. Sign up for free and watch it wherever you are in the rugby world. This is the 8-9 Combo. This is the test match post-mortem from the 8-9 combo, the short side set piece combination you didn't realize you needed, coming from the podcast double act you already had, or maybe it's a single act right now. I'm Brett McKay. He's Harry Jones, and we'll be back in your ears with former Argentinian centre turned commentator and friend of the pod, Marcelo Bosch, this week.